Landowners and others in Bradford County say they are being shortchanged for royalties originally promised from the natural gas company Chesapeake Energy.
Our family is zero. I mean, we've got like a check for like $10 or something like that. It was ridiculous. So we've seen nothing. But there have been other people that have received more or less than us, and sometimes I've heard of bills being to them. So it's really unfair.
A resolution passed during Tuesday's Wilmot Township Council meeting calls on state officials to pass a House bill which will guarantee a 12.5% royalty minimum for any drilling. Chairman of the Bradford County Commissioners, Doug McClinko, says this issue affects everyone, even in New York.
Most people live on an acre or under, 10 acres or under. Ours is the average, and most royalty receivers 65 years old in the United States get about $400. But we spend that money throughout our area, primarily in your viewing area. So there are businesses that aren't seeing that revenue, so it affects everybody. They might not understand that, but it does. Charitable giving, all of it.
There are plans to continue to push for action from the Commonwealth Legislature, as the House only has 12 working days until the end of session.
It kicked off here. We have another big event next Wednesday night at Towanda School at 6 o'clock. We need everybody to come. We're going to be hopefully having a video crew there to interview people on our own. We're going to cut a video of Bradford County, and it's going out to everybody.
In Wilmot Township, Isabel Garcia, WENY News.
As we told you on WENY News at 6, a town hall was held tonight at Towanda High School to bring residents together who feel they're being shortchanged by a certain gas company for royalties. WENY's Isabel Garcia has been following the story. She spoke with a state representative trying to make a change at the state level.
Now, the reasoning behind tonight's meeting is all surrounding House Bill. Now, that's House Bill number 1391, which would essentially guarantee landowners who lease their land to gas companies a minimum 12.5% on royalties.
What HB 1391 does is defined in our existing minimum royalty statute that the gas operators cannot use what's known as post-production costs to reduce royalty payments below that 12.5% guaranteed minimum that we have in Pennsylvania.
Hundreds of landowners throughout Bradford County packed the Towanda High School auditorium for a town hall-style meeting. Residents say certain gas companies, including the big one, Chesapeake Energy, have been taking money out of royalty checks or even billing residents for tapping into gas wells.
Yeah, what's happening is when you're with Chesapeake, Anadarko, Stat Oil, and Mitsui, like all of us are, we're getting shortchanged like by 8% of what we should be getting.
Tonight's meeting allowed residents to ask questions to community leaders and learn more information about how to make a change.
And they estimate that this affects 150,000 parcels or households in the northern tier of Pennsylvania who have leases, and many of whom are not being paid fairly.
Another reasoning behind the push for HB 1391, there are only 14 House session days left in the year.
The likelihood of it passing, if it reaches the floor, is 100%. The trick is getting it to the floor.
Now, as people were signing in for tonight's meeting and throughout the meeting as well, they were handing out cards with contact information for the Speaker of the House as well as the Majority Leader, as local leaders continue to urge residents to call for action. For now, reporting in Towanda, Isabel Garcia, WENY News.
Bradford County landowners affected by certain gas companies who they say failed to pay proper royalties took their message to the state capitol today. WENY's Isabel Garcia traveled to Harrisburg to document the public outcry for fair regulations while legislation remains pending.
More than 100 people from Bradford County came out to the state capitol today in an effort to push for House Bill 1391, Minimum Royalties Act. This was the scene inside the Capitol building this afternoon when 4 busloads of landowners from Bradford County rallied for change.
House Bill 1391 is a pretty simple bill. It says that landowners need to be paid a minimum of 12.5% of the value of the gas that's taken from underneath their land.
I mean, it's 11,000 parcels in Bradford County. I mean, it's 35% of the land mass of our county is affected by this. Just one company or one set of wells with Chesapeake. But when you throw in the rest, it's about 40% now.
People on the trip had the chance to talk with other representatives about their own experiences with gas companies.
For the last year, we've been getting slighted on the checks. March, we didn't even receive a check. And then April, we got a check that they took out over $1,500 worth of fuel at the start of the check stub, and I ended up at $49.78.
Actually, in May, the May statement, I got a negative royalty. Actually, we got no statement, and the following statement said that we were in the hole $352 for that month. We had a gross payment of about $4,500 and a net of minus $352.
With just about 2.5 weeks left of House sessions, today's rally is meant to light a fire for Bill 1391 to be seen on the floor.
This bill is in position that it could be amendments considered today, voted out of the House tomorrow, and the Senate has plenty of time to take it up and get it across the goal line before the elections.
Reporting in Harrisburg, Isabel Garcia, WENY News.
Thousands of residents throughout Bradford County say they're being cheated out of property royalty payments from certain natural gas companies. Legislation to fix a loophole in the state's Guaranteed Minimum Royalty Rights Act has now hit a dead end. WENY's Isabel Garcia takes a closer look at what's next for residents.
Was there any indication when you first signed up that this could be a possibility?
No, not at all. That guy said, no, it's a state law.
Wayne Felter runs a small beef cattle farm just outside of Wyalusing in Bradford County, PA. He also has a lease with Chesapeake Energy and prior had one with Anadarko Energy for natural gas production. When he first began receiving royalty payments, the money went into the farm.
I bought hay and equipment, stuff to make hay with, mower and rakes and stuff, tractor to modernize some.
After a few years, something changed, and those checks started to dwindle.
They started hauling gas, and at first it was really good. Next thing we know, we were getting charged for transportation. We were getting charged for gathering, and then it got worse, and then it got so they were taking at least half what we got.
Wayne is being charged for what's known as post-production costs. The state's Guaranteed Minimum Royalty Act of 1979 indicates a royalty payment must be at least 12.5% of the total value of the gas drilled. This was well before the development of conventional shale gas wells such as Marcellus, which allowed companies to use newer technology and take advantage of a legislative loophole.
1 month this year, I didn't get anything. Finally, I called them. I met with 4 guys, and they gave me a spreadsheet, and they showed where they lost $629 on my 1/8 of the gas, on all their gas. And they said that there was $629 lost. They got the gas for nothing.
A 2010 lawsuit on this issue made it all the way to the state Supreme Court. The court ruled the law did not clearly define the term royalty, allowing gas companies to get away with deducting post-production costs.
The Supreme Court of Pennsylvania gave direction to the state legislature how to correct the bill, and they have failed to do it. It's been 6 long years and hundreds of millions of dollars taken from landowners of their natural resources that they own out of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Efforts to fix this loophole were addressed in the 2013-2014 House session, but failed. The reintroduction of a similar bill during this past House session also saw the same fate.
1391 died at the vine, which is the Guaranteed Minimum Royalties Act, and quite frankly, I am not surprised. Harrisburg failed us. They walked away from rural Pennsylvania. Republicans think they own rural Pennsylvania. Well, I guess we found out really what they think of us.
Bradford County Commissioner Doug McClinko believes the legislation was weighed down with add-ons.
The gas industry had some of their flunkies take and put a bunch of amendments on it, is what it boils down to. So it was things that I wouldn't even support, but that's what they do. I mean, that's their game. They put amendments on it that nobody will support, and then people just walk away.
For private landowners, the hope of seeing a resolution is dwindling.
What can we do? They're using our money for their lawyers to fight us. How can we fight lawyers? How can we fight them? You know, and it's up to our state government. And I'm sorry to say, I have a lot of less faith in our state government now than I did.
When you start looking at all this money which I am okay with fundraising. It's an evil of politics, unfortunately. But when you take the money, who are you going to stand with? Are you going to be with the lobbyist or are you going to be with the landowner? And I think it's evident where the House representative in Pennsylvania stands.
There are plans to reintroduce a third version of the bill when the new House session begins in 2017.
The fight is going to continue. We're not going away. It might just change a little bit.
It hurts. You think you're supposed to be getting money and you don't get it. You just don't get it. They don't seem to bother them, Chesapeake, that they just keep going and keep going.
Reporting in Bradford County, Isabel Garcia, WENY News.